there's no glory in signing up for a number, even though the entire infrastructure may be wanting you to do that. And this is where stakeholder management comes into place and say, hey, if you have no history of building or supporting partner capability, then we can just pick any number. It's going to be wrong.
Right. Hey everyone, Chip Rogers, host and founder of Inside Partnering, which is just kicking off.
Well, congrats to you, Chip. I know you've been wanting to do this for a very long time, and the day is finally here.
It is here. I'm very excited, and we've got some great partner leaders lined up for as guests, and so excited to be joined by Mathew. Asher, good friend and longtime amazing partner leader and CEO and founder of Partnership Leaders.
Yeah. I mean, it's been quite the run, Chip. We've definitely toured the world, and I'm glad to be doing this with you.
Yeah. It's been fun. Australia.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, Australia and Europe. We had the European tour.
Yeah, the first APAC tour, and then we did the Europe tour. And then I think we've traveled around the country already too.
Yeah. Amazing. So it's exciting to have you here, Asher. We've recorded a lot of videos, but I've never really sat down and just explored, your background, what's happening with PL and with the industry. So I'd love to have that conversation today.
Totally. By the way, folks, this is the background is from Chip's house. I finally got an invite to get to his house, which is fantastic. But this view is amazing, I think we've toured the world. We've done a bunch of promo videos, but we've never actually sat down and I would say shoot the breeze about partnerships and everything else. But I can talk a little bit about how Partnership Leaders started. It was basically Chris and I were sitting at Dreamforce where he had invited me to an extremely cheap lunch, which is, I'll never let him live that down, but obviously we're friends. And so, we were sitting down and what we were talking about was just this explosion of SaaS had taken place, right? This was 2018, right?
Yeah.
And the need for integrations had exploded because customers wanted their products integrated so that they could live the value proposition that these tools had and see the value. And then there was no place for these technology partnership professionals to go and learn about the profession, discuss best practices, share their wins and celebrate their wins and share their lessons learned. And there's just no platform for these technology partner professionals, just like there is for sales professionals and marketing professionals. And there is a number of platforms for even channel sales and channel marketing professionals. But this persona called the technology partner professional, which today you would also technically call them app partner managers if you wanted to call them, right? Because there's a number of different names for this group. There just wasn't anything else, right? And then Chris, who I believe would be, if there was a track record of who actually really started this, Chris actually sent out this email, and I think there were 11 or 13 people on that email, and a number of us competed against each other, by the way. So it was just the spirit of camaraderie, the spirit of supporting each other to elevate ourselves and the profession, this desire to see things through and, really take the art out of partnerships and try to get it to a science as much as we possibly could. That's what actually brought us all together. And then we had this group and we said, let's start sharing things with each other. And we ended up sharing a bunch of emails with each other, and then we ended up in Slack, right?
Yeah.
And then once we got to Slack, there was a rule that we had created that people would just invite other partnership professionals and leaders that we knew in our networks. And this was a little bit like Fight Club, like you couldn't necessarily get in by just applying because there was no landing page or anything like that. We just started inviting our friends, and all of a sudden, I think we had 900 people in this thing.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, then we were there's something here.
Yeah.
So that was, I would say, is the origin story of how this thing started, and then.
Well, and today it's about 22,000.
Yeah, we're
members?
2,200
Yeah.
paid members,
Yeah.
and I call that out because when we started, we were free, and then we said, well, for us to elevate this industry, we need some resources.
Yeah.
And given that, like, all of three of us were actually working in other full-time jobs, this was really like our, I don't want to say like a hobby project, but this is like our passion project, right? Like, especially for me, it was for sure, because I wanted to make sure that there was a group that, or platform for modern partnership professionals. And so today we are 2,200 members in, I want to say like 70 plus countries. Like the countries is like I guess an interesting number to keep a track of, but there's definitely like 2,200 members from 1,800 companies. And this is like some of the hottest high growth companies like OpenAI and like Anthropic and then some of the largest of the largest companies like AWS and Microsoft and Nvidia, and I mean, you name it, like we've got it. I mean, even like the other day I was just sitting there thinking, well, who else is here? And I met someone at the Salt Lake City Summit, and they're from Visa, and they were like, well, I'm in the community too. And I'm like, wait, Visa's in the community, right? And so it's like this thing has actually become, I would say, a really special network of professionals that care about elevating our industry, and the types of people that we have in the network today are very connected.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and you know, I think it's you know, Partnership Leaders is it's a community, but it's more than a community, right? I mean, it's really a network of people that are connected and that care about the profession, care about the industry, care about each other, and are helping each other.
Yeah, I mean, you can call it a community, you can call it a private network, you can call it like LinkedIn for partnerships, like you can call it all these names, but at the heart of it, it's people that are serious about the profession, want to elevate it, and want to see themselves elevated by virtue of that, is essentially what we're building.
Yeah. So, as a partner leader or as a new partner leader, what's some advice that you would have for a new partner leader for, you know, hey, I'm just getting into it. Maybe I had a different role, and my company is really trying to create a partner strategy. Where should they start?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the beginning,
other than partnership leaders, right? That would be the first place.
Totally. No, I like in the beginning, I would have just said go be a part of the community, because we just did not have enough resources to even have this guided conversation, right? Yeah. And so, what we've done over the last, I want to say 7 years now, right, is you know, created these guides and these playbooks and these certification paths. And today, I would say, you know, Partnership Leaders, one, is a network, right? And then two, is an events company, because we've been able to get people together through conferences, through summits that we're doing right now. And then we've also created an expert services group, which allowed us to do research and provide some advisory services and provide some enablement services for talent, right? And the reason I'm sharing all these things is because what started off as a community is essentially a research advisory and events company, basically, right? So it's like research advisory events community, if you want to call it that, right? And through this journey, we've realized the things that work and the things that don't work, given the times that we've gone through, right? So we went through cloud, right? We went through ZERP. Now we're going through AI, right? And each one of those moments taught us something different about what a partnership leader should be doing if they were to start in a company. Now, one other important thing that happened in the evolution of our space is SAP and Microsoft creating this Chief Partner Officer role and bringing together all the different functions of partnerships under one unified leader. And today there's 1,048 of them. And I think 2 years ago, I think there was like 832 of them. When we all started talking about this role, there was like
set down the challenge.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. And then Amit and I, obviously our companies basically said, hey, we're going to invest and grow this to the point that there's going to be 2,000 chief partner officers, kind of taking inspiration from the 5,000 chief customer officers that Gainsight helped create, right?
Yeah.
And so this new identity, this new that actually shows up on org charts, that has budget and that has authority, that is recognized by the executive teams and boards. This was created, but more importantly, it was created by very large companies. So it has some longevity and durability to it, because Microsoft and SAP aren't just going to create a role and then kill it the next year. They're like, hey, we are going to bring these teams together, the programs together, the policies and governance together, the resourcing together, and now we're going to enable a holistic view of the program. And we were very fortunate to have Nicole at our who's the CPO of Microsoft, at our event, where she talked about the pieces that she's put in place, and also like what her own journey was to get to this point, right?
Yeah.
So if you take all of this stuff that we've done, actually, like the other thing that we did is you and I were curious about how partnerships takes place in APAC and how partnerships takes place in Europe, and like what are the current challenges of people outside of the things that we were reading on LinkedIn, and we went to these regions and we learned about the challenges and the successes those people are having, and then we essentially
built
very,
very similar challenges.
Totally, very similar challenges, different ways to go about solving them, but I'm sharing this story with the audience because there's a lot of like research and that we've done, a lot of content that we've created, a lot of people that we've had conversations to. We've navigated a lot of very tough situations in the marketplace. And so to come back to your original question about like if a partnership leader enters an organization, what should they be doing, right? And I think when a partnership leader enters an organization, my point of view today is they should first observe and assess the readiness of that organization to embark on this partnership journey, right? Today, we have a executive maturity model that partnership leaders, after tons and tons of conversations, have created, which takes them from like the nascent view of partnerships, which is just like, hey, I have an idea. The CEO comes and says, I have an idea. I want to do some partnering. My board is talking about it. I was on an exec retreat with some CEOs. Let's go figure this partnering thing out. Similar to like the AI conversation, right? CEOs are like, hey, my board is asking me about what's our AI strategy. Like, let's go run some pilots, right? And so we have this executive maturity model, which allows leaders to assess, like, where is my organization? Is it at the stage of just an idea that partnerships is cool, we should go try it out? Is it at the transactional level? Or is it at the strategic level? Again, there's 4 different steps in this.
It's a great place to start, really, just to figure out, just
observe.
Where are you?
Yeah. Don't say anything. Don't make any bold statements. Just observe and have conversations. But in the back of your mind, or I would say definitely somewhere where you would document the learnings and map them to a maturity framework. Or a maturity model, right? And I'm not saying that we have the best maturity model. I'm just saying we have the most real maturity model based on the learnings from our members and the conversations that we've had.
200 partner leaders.
Yeah, I mean, it's sizable, right? Like, and you remember, like the hero of our story is one persona, right? It's like the partnership leader. It could be the partnership leader, the partner marketing leader, the partner success leader, the partner engineering leader, the partner ops leader. It doesn't really matter. Like, as long as you identify as a partnership leader, you could also be a CEO that identifies as a partnership leader, or a CMO or a CRO. But if you are someone who cares about partnerships, like that's the hero of our story. This entire company is built on that, right? And so for that person then to go into an organization and say, I am going to start my journey here, it's important to observe and assess and then map the capabilities of the company.
Yeah. And
then start getting stakeholder alignment by putting together a value of partnerships deck, right? And then once you put the value of partnerships deck together, it will map out the strengths and weaknesses of the organization and the capabilities needed to be successful at partnerships. And one good outcome of the value of partnerships deck or process is that you would get some resources to go and experiment to understand which types of partners should be prioritized.
Right.
Because today you have cloud partners, you have technology partners, you have services partners, you have VC, PE,
Resellers,
banking partners, you have MSPs, VAR. I mean, there's the partnerships world, I would say, is equally as complicated as the marketing world or the sales world. And so you really have to decide very logically which partners are you going to invest in first, so that you can go from this thing called the pilot of partnerships to a program of partnerships. And you do have to drive the company to take this one partner type and make them successful. Right?
Yeah.
Similar to when you start. There's no spray and pray, right? Like similar to when you go to a startup, you would understand like, hey, am I going to go work with SMB customers? Am I going to work with mid-market customers? Am I going to work with enterprise customers? You have to you have to figure out your ideal partner profile. And well said, So once you go through this experimentation, you would ultimately land on the ideal partner profile in that partner type. Right. Yeah. And then you can start learning from your customers and figuring out the value chain of your customers. And then understanding like, hey, what other partner capability does my company need to be successful with these customers? And then as the customer types and the geography types and the industry types grow inside of a company, so do the partner types grow. And then you can bring different capabilities inside. And then you go from like one partner program or one partner type supported through a partner program, and then multiple partners supported through the program, and you ultimately end up with a very large program. And I would say that it's very important for leaders to understand that programs drive budget, they drive resources. Otherwise, you're just running pilots, and you can start with some small number of resources or maybe you have to borrow some resources from other parts of the company.
Because then it's formalized.
Yes,
it's formalized, and you put some goals out, and then you measure the goals.
So this is also another really good point. If you started your journey in a company, I would say curb the urge to put a number out there without having some sort of empirical evidence. Right? There's no glory in signing up for a number, even though the entire infrastructure may be wanting you to do that. And this is where stakeholder management comes into place and say, hey, if you have no history of building or supporting partner capability, then we can just pick any number. It's going to be wrong.
And of course, executive buy-in and things like that, support from the leadership and leadership team and all that.
Same thing, by the way, is true if the company was already had a partner program, and they had partner capability. When you go and you have to observe, you have to assess, see where things are on this executive maturity model, and then start to think about capabilities that you need to again transform this company from wherever they are to wherever they need to be. Right? The one piece of advice that I'll share that I have now learned by hanging around with a number of very senior partner leaders, which I'm extremely grateful for, is you do also need to make it a point to make sure the company realizes that you are there to advance the company's goals. So it can't always be about, hey, my partner is this, my partner is that, It can't be it definitely should be externally focused, but it can't be all about external focus. It also has to be about, hey, we're building this partner capability because it will help us get to the company's goals so that we can build a bigger company so that we can serve more customers.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
this is a very key thing, and
I mean,
you're
you
going
need to understand the partner's goals and align the goals, but you always have to remember who's paying your paycheck.
Totally. And there's like this thing about internal advocacy that has actually come up quite a bit now in the last few months, where if you're a senior leader, you should be thinking about how do I programatize internal advocacy similar to how you would programatize external advocacy, right? I mean, announcing partnerships on LinkedIn and stuff like that, I think is great. Doing videos with them, going to amazing A-class events with them, like all this stuff is great, right? Because it will help you recognize your partners, which I think is important to do. But you also have to think about programatizing internal advocacy, which again is something new that I've picked up over the last few months. I'm sure people are doing it, but calling it out, I think, is important for the partnership leader so that they can build it into their plan.
Yeah, and so that there's internal recognition. I mean, that's how resources get allocated, all that.
Yes.
All these guys are doing an amazing job.
Yeah. You know? I mean, we kind of talk about it as like, hey, a QBR is taking place and a company town hall is taking place, and like, let's make sure that partners are highlighted. And I think that does the job, but to me, that's still a very ad hoc way of doing this. Like, you need to programatize, like win wires need to go out, press releases need to include partners, you need to create a quarterly or even a monthly email that goes out to executives explaining to them what it's almost like marketing will share. It's internal marketing, but like marketing will share stats about their stuff all the time, right? Interestingly, executives have dashboards, and senior executives definitely do, right? And you can put your partner metrics on that, but the context, the management summary of what's actually happening in the field, I think is important to like summarize on a monthly basis and send it to all the senior executives.
You know, that was one question, and just a catalyst for a whole bunch of great.
I know. I'm like, we're gonna have to do more of these.
That's right. Asher, you're just so plugged into the partnership community and hearing and connected with everyone all the time.
Yeah.
What are some of maybe the top 2 or 3? I mean, AI, of course, is, I'm sure, a challenge. What are some of the top challenges that partner leaders are seeing today that you're hearing about?
Yeah. So I would say, when we put out this valueofpartnerships.com resource, I honestly thought in another quarter, everybody's going to use it. It's going to be great. We're going to be done with it, right? And that's actually not true. And what I've found is explaining and re-explaining and reaffirming the value of partnerships to the organization is very important. So I would say, from what I've learned over the last few months, is do not think that that's automatically happening.
Right.
This is absolutely a priority, and should be a priority for you. Then the next piece is making sure that the right people are in the right seats, because your program is evolving. And the partners that need more love are probably evolving. And if you don't have the right talent on the team, you probably need to do something about that ASAP, right? But you also need to rethink those seats. Because if you have a 20% team, let's say, for example, right? Or if you have a 40% team, right? And you're going to go invest in cloud partnerships, which is happening quite a bit, right? Right? And even though, I mean, we kind of all know that cloud partnerships have existed for 10 years, but people are still investing in them or learning how to invest in them. Don't reuse one partner manager who was doing great with VARs in this cloud partnerships world, because even though 80% of partnerships is the same, the last 20%, which is domain experience and domain connections, may not be the same, right? And so that partner manager may be able to stretch and get you there, but it's similar to, I would say, sales reps, right? There's some sales reps that are really good at getting to this from 0 to 1. There's some sales reps really good to getting to from 1 to 100, right? Like, so you need to constantly assess the people in your teams, but really assess the roles, like what do you have? And when we did this executive roundtable at Catalyst this year, where we had a number of, again, very senior leaders, and super grateful for them to be there. One of the things that did come up was like, we as in senior leaders need to rethink our organizations, right? And this has nothing to do with like do more with less, or how can we make them more productive. It's just, are we now staffed up and organized well to make it easy for this time's partners to work with us? And to me, I think that requires some dedicated thinking time and dedicated planning time. And also, I would say it requires dedicated networking with other leaders who just to see like how are
what
people
other
thinking
people are
about
doing,
it.
and what's
How are
working and what's not.
Because like one of the fundamental questions that I would like challenge everybody that's like listening to this thing is, if you have an app partner manager and you have a channel partner manager, like how do you assess the productivity of each of those roles? Those are two separate roles.
Right.
Yeah. And where do you go to get that data? Right. As not a partnership leader, you know, I'm just saying, I'm just proving the point that like you have to go talk to other people to really make sure that you have assurance that this data is actually correct.
And that you're measuring and looking at the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So that is just some other another big thing that's come up outside of the value partnerships. There's like org design. There's obviously the pilots that people are running with AI. I think we're getting to a point where we do now understand the few use cases that you can have success with AI. I would still say like even for my own usage, like you just have to be careful of like hallucinations. Even today, right? Like when you ask AI for data points, you have to like validate that and verify that and probably talk with other people. And it's kind of like I'm kind of back to the
GPT-5 just came out yesterday, and
it's
better.
It's better, but
you
again,
still need to.
Yeah, you need assurance.
You need the human in the loop.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because the thing is like, we're not talking about sales, right? It's not like, hey, there's like a first call that takes place, then like there's deep discovery that takes place, then the solution test takes place, then you have to figure out like budget and the timeline, et cetera. You kind of like do that. There a lot of partnerships is now, I would say, systematized, right? But you still need to talk with other people who have domain experience to understand the nuances of what's happening in the domain, because whatever macro trends are taking place are going to affect the customers and then equally to the partners. And so the value of like just making sure you have a network or 10 people or 12 people that you can chat with, I think is still very important. And I don't think AI can substitute that today.
Yeah. So Asher, let's talk about PL.
Yeah.
You guys have, you're in the middle of the Catalyst Summit series right now that's going on. You've got Catalyst London or Europe coming up in London.
Yep.
Very exciting. And but tell us, Atlas. I mean, there's so many things that you guys are doing. Tell us a little bit about what's coming.
Yeah, I talked a little bit about this earlier, but the journey that we are on is an industry elevation journey, right? And like I said, like our hero is the partnership leader, or anybody who identifies as the partnership leader, right? And for us, like as we have grown the network, pretty much like our rule is like, hey, whatever the people need, just build it for them, right?
Yeah.
And so when we started, we had a major benefit from COVID, because COVID really gave us that pun intended catalyst, right, to create this digital network. And then when COVID subsided, we started a meetup, which I believe we did one at the Frying Pan in New York, which is essentially two ships kind of parked next to each other, which was technically the first partnership event, which is amazing. That a location like that even existed. I think like 60 or 70 people showed up to it, and then on the back side of that, we actually did the first official meetup, if you want to call it, which was the first Catalyst, but which 420 people showed up to right? And so Miami, exactly, right? And then from Miami, we went to, let's see, where did we go after that?
Denver.
Denver, yep.
Chicago.
Yep, and then
Seattle.
Seattle, yeah. So Chips basically said when we at Miami, I'll be here for when we celebrate the 10th anniversary. He actually has all the badges, and
I've still got the badges.
Totally, and that actually gave me the idea to actually have all the badges, and so I have actually also have the badges because you actually inspired me to do that. And actually, I also have the first gobo that we had. I don't know if you remember the big Catalyst sign that we put out. Yeah, and then when I was leaving, the techs were like, "Hey, you should take this with you because it'll be memorable." So, but anyways, like that, COVID subsiding gave us Catalyst, right? And then as we kept on maturing and growing, and earning the right to serve leaders, we realized, research and benchmarking is very important. And thank you to our friends at HubSpot who actually taught us the value of really good research. And we've done a number of things with them. We did a number of things with your older ex-friends, or not ex-friends, but ex-colleagues, because they're still friends at Workspan. You and I met at the Crossbeam event in Philadelphia, and then Crossbeam was like supporting us in the beginning to like just figure out how a community forms, and so we've had Crossbeam, we've had HubSpot, we had Workspan, kind of start this movement with us, right? Then we met our friends at InPartner, then we met some friends at MindMatrix, Salesforce, like Tackle, like all these companies that we've been fortunate to work with allowed us to elevate ourselves to earn the right to work with executives, and then those executives wanted research, benchmark is part of research, advisory, and talent, and so we created this unit called Atlas. And so today, Partnership Leaders, the company, has this memberships business, this events business, and this research and advisory business. And so in a way, we would look like any of the large research and advisory firms that we all read reports from and stuff, because they all have events and they all have digital communities and stuff. And so we would be very closely, we would look like them today. And like I said, like we're building this for a very long time, and we'll see where it goes.
But focused on partner leaders.
Yes, only.
Right.
Yeah, very much focused on partner leaders, right? And so as we exited last year, or wrapped up last year, we were thinking about like we have tons of mixers that we do, right, and meetups that we do, and they are very focused.
What's the
on
number?
networking.
It's incredible.
It's a lot.
In addition to Catalyst,
I know. It's a lot.
Literally around the world.
I probably need to chat with Chris about like where how many we've done, but between digital events and between physical events, I think like one year we did 100+ events, and I think that was a lot, right?
Yeah.
But then 10,000 people went through these things, right? Like, or if you think about it, the what we learned was that connecting and networking is great, but we now need to provide high quality content in some of the key cities where there's lots and lots of partnership leaders. And so San Francisco would be one, New York is one, Austin is one, Denver is one, Salt Lake City is one, right? Like Chicago is another one, right?
Yeah.
So we said, okay, how about?
I don't know if you said.
San Francisco. Yeah. So we said, okay, how about we do a 5-hour event, and we take the top things that we're learning from our community, and then we address those challenges and share successes at these things locally, right?
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit more convenient for people to go out and attend an event for like half a day, and then they get the top trends that are happening. And they can also meet with other leaders and share their success story. So that's how the summits became a program, and now in the second half, the thing that's unique is we're going to be going to a number of conferences that are run by other companies, and so this year we're going to have a summit at the same time as Dreamforce is taking place. We're going to have a summit at the same time as reInvent is taking place, and we did that last year too, right? And then we we're going to have a summit at the same time as Ignite is going to take place, and we're going to have the same summit at the same time as Inbound is going to take place. And so we figured that the company names that come up the most in our community, it's worth us going to their conferences and showing them the same type of respect and love that they've shown to us by sponsoring our event. We should go and do things there and then build the partner hub at these events. And so no matter where you are as a partnership leader, you can attend one of our summits. You can go to Catalyst in London if you happen to be in London, which is the first time we're going to do that because of the number of times people have requested a European event, right? And then I guess we'll see where we go from here.
Yeah. Amazing. You've got a lot going on. I don't know how you guys are.
I know it's insane. I mean, I just look back and say we're super fortunate to be able to build a company for a persona that we deeply understand, love, and are connected in, right? And so.
And it started as a passion project.
Totally.
And now it's a
company.
It's a company.
I mean, we would be a Series B company if we actually were fundraised, and So it's become a thing, and we're super grateful for the opportunity and frankly for all the support that we've received from the members, the senior leaders in the market, the sponsors, the people that are building technology. There's a number of new entrepreneurs that are entering this space who are going to create amazing software that is a little bit more AI first, and then we'll see, where it goes.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Asher, thank you so much for taking the time and sharing all the amazing things that are going on with partnerships in general, with the industry, with challenges that we all have, and with PL. And thank you for you and Chris and Ty for kicking it off and getting it started and building this incredible executive network of people together. Yeah,
and thank you personally, because you took a bet on us when we were, I would say nothing, I remember having that conversation on a tabletop in Philadelphia talking about just Catalyst, and I think it was 2 months later that we did Catalyst, right?
Yeah.
And then we were like, hey, I think we need to go to these regions to figure out what's happening.
What's
and you're
going on out there?
You're like, oh, let's go figure it out, Yeah, exactly. So thank you for being a core driver of this community with us. If we were to go back a little bit, I remember going to an ecosystem ACES community event way back in the Mayfield office, right? And
2018, somewhere. Yeah.
And then you had some executives from SAP, and that was the first time I was like, wow, there's a group of partnership leaders that gets together to discuss just what's happening in the space. And so you've done a tremendous amount of work. Plus all the amazing drone videos, that you've done, which have taken off. And now this project, which will also, is for the benefit of the industry.
Yeah, fantastic. Asher, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you to our sponsor.
Thank you all for
sponsors Coke,
That's right. Well, we both grabbed a Coke, and we homie and partner. Just coincidentally. All right. Well, thank you all for joining, and we will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
See you, people.
All right.
Cool.